Joining us today on the Daily Dose, we have our featured columnist and aspiring sports journalist. You can see his work at dailydosesports.com, but it isn't just there. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But visiting right now from the University of Colorado in Boulder, we have young Jimmie, and if you can't see, young Jimmie is actually joining us today on the Daily Dose YouTube video as well. But thank you for stopping by and getting us ready for Major League Baseball. Jimmie, it is today, 4:20. How high are you right now?
I'm stone cold sober, Mr. Dose.
Well, I guess you're the one. You're the one person in Boulder who is stone cold sober. You might just be you, though. Jimmie, I want to say thank you for being here. Got to ask you this up front. How is school going for you?
School is going, okay. We won't talk about grades or anything. That doesn't really matter.
That
the grades
doesn't sound good.
Part of school. It never really matters too much. All the greats, got bad grades in school, I'm pretty sure.
Is that what we're going to go with?
That's what we're going to go with. It doesn't take a genius, to pass a class. It takes a genius to succeed in life. And that's what I'm going for. Street smarts over book smarts.
C's get degrees. Never forget that. You are now nearly done with your sophomore year.
Yeah.
This is going fast.
I'm almost halfway through this thing.
This is insane. I'm not sure we're ready for all this. Do you feel like you're learning things? Are you getting ready for this whole journalism thing?
Now, at this point, journalism-wise, I think they've taught you pretty much everything they can.
Right.
At this point, it's more just going about doing it.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to learn the most stuff.
Agreed.
And I'm doing my best to go do it, just try to get ahead of people that aren't doing it, because journalism is a field where there's people that are doing it and there's people that are not doing it when it comes to that major.
Yeah.
And the people that don't do it don't succeed outside of it.
Here's my belief, and I believe this whether it's a podcast, whether it's a news outlet, whether it's writing articles, whatever it might be. Everybody has like one story in them. Everybody has one podcast in them. Everybody has maybe it's a one book or one movie. Can you find 20? Can you find 50? Can you find 500? Can you find 1,000? That's what separates the good ones from the kind of average ones. Because everybody, if we went and just walked out on the street right now, and we just grab someone off the street, we'd say, hey, come in here and do a podcast. And they'd be like, oh, okay, I have a story, and here's my story. Everybody has one. It's who can keep finding things over and over. And you learn to have so much appreciation for the people that can just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, because it's really hard.
Oh, yeah, just learning to have that eye for what could possibly be talked about.
Yes, you're exactly right.
Definitely, that's a skill that is one that they don't really teach you as much. They teach you, get one project in,
right.
Maybe every 2 weeks for class-wise. Outside of classes, you're a little more on the spot for things like that.
Well, and to have your kind of senses tuned where you're looking, going, okay, how could I make this a story? How can this be an angle for me to go at? And what angle could I take? Jimmie, I'll be very honest. I have sat down and written full articles and then realized the premise of my article is wrong. I've got to change the entire thing, because what I was going at, hey, this quarterback doesn't do, and then I'm like, oh, this whole thing is wrong. I've got to change everything. So you always kind of got to have that voice in your head going, okay, is what I'm saying factual? Is what I'm saying making any sense? Because if not, then you kind of got to check yourselves, and there are times it'll trip you up. Jimmie, you're still writing for The Dose, but you have a few other things you're working on too. Is there anywhere else that people could maybe look and find some of your work or see some of what you're doing out there?
Oh, yeah. So I have been a part of the student-run publication, The Bold, at CU. That'd be www.theboldcu.com.
Okay.
I've been writing things sports-wise for there. They merged recently with a sports journalism club on campus called ScoBuff Sports. So I also am a part of that club as well. So they do a bi-weekly broadcast that I've been a part of multiple times. They just put on a show. You tune in, you watch it. I've done their rapid fire segments. Haven't hosted or anchored yet. Hopefully in the future soon. But good experiences there. Writing for scripts.
Yep.
Reading off teleprompters. All good stuff.
Very good experience on that stuff. I've seen your work. I will tell you this, and I'm going to warn you ahead of time. If anybody that you work with listens to The Dose, you're bringing more energy than they're bringing. So I'm just going to say that, and I'm going to say it as nicely as I can.
Yeah.
It's funny, though, but when you read, to be able to transfer that reading into making it sound like you're talking, and to be able to make it sound intriguing or interesting to people listening, there's a skill to it. It's not easy.
Oh yeah, so I've been to a few, networking events at school, and I've talked to a lot of news anchors around the Denver area.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, I talked to, higher ups in the CBS and stuff.
Yep.
They're all saying like, yeah, you can read off a teleprompter, but if you're not interesting, no one's going to tune in. No one's going to care. If you don't bring anything to it, I can bring up, some middle schooler to come read.
Anybody can read.
So, trying to put on something other than just, the basic tonight, the Buffalo scored, blah, blah, blah.
Well, and you're passionate about it. You love sports. You love CU Buff sports. So to transfer that passion that you have naturally into your broadcast, like it sounds like it would be, well, yeah, obviously that's what I do, but that's not what everybody does.
No. And it's hard to, show that all the time.
Right. You don't want to go over the top.
You don't want to go over the top, but you finding that border, that fine line, and getting my reps in is what I've been doing best.
Good work. I'm happy to see that you're branching out. You're doing some other things. Of course, like I said, you can always still find Jimmie's work at DailyDoseSports.com, but he put some good stuff over there. But it's good. It's interesting to see kind of the direction that you're going in and some of the places that this is taking you. Jimmie, we're going to obviously be talking Major League Baseball today. Going to get your thoughts on a number of storylines to watch this year in the Major League Baseball season. But before we do, got a few other things we need to pick your brain on a little bit. The NBA playoffs are rolling along now. What are you seeing so far in the NBA playoffs? Who do you like? Who do you think could end up in those NBA finals? Are there any teams in the NBA that are standing out to you right now?
Now, coming from Dallas,
yes,
big Mavericks guy.
Big Mavericks
I grew
fan,
up
yes,
watching my Dallas Mavericks.
Yes, you did. Big Dirk fan.
And it's tough having Doncic out right now.
Yes.
Luka's gone, and it's really hurting because he's that push. The team's decent.
Right.
You got some guys who can make some shots, but he's that element that just puts them over the edge, and having him not there makes them incredibly average.
Yeah. No, you're right. And watching in game one, especially, you looked at them and said that this doesn't look like a special team. That doesn't look like a great playoff team, and he elevates the level of their play. Here's the interesting thing, because Jimmie's a young man, and if you're watching on the YouTube video, you can see Jimmie's a young guy. Jimmie, you are of the belief, I know, that former eras couldn't compete in modern times.
No.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way Larry Bird could come and compete. There's no way.
And I'll stand by that.
Right, because Luka's super athletic.
I think he's
ultra athletic.
Luka is as athletic as the most athletic person to play 40 years ago, 30 years ago.
Right. Luka's super athletic. He jumps really high. He runs really fast. He's like ultra athletic guy.
I think he could hang.
Even when you look at I don't know, say like the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets have a man who is a big man, again, reigning most valuable player, super athletic, ultra athletic. He's got what we used to call back in our day the platinum card jumping ability. If he jumps as high as you might be able to get that credit card under his feet. Ultra athletic. And again, Jimmie's going to sit here and tell us how I think the athletes today are just so much more dominant.
I think he would body everybody 20 years ago.
Super would.
I firmly believe it.
So who do you like in the playoffs right now? Who do you think is heading to the NBA Finals? I know that you're a Dallas fan. You're going to cheer for Dallas. You're here in Denver, so we're going to make you cheer for Denver a little bit. But who do you actually like to have success in the NBA playoffs? Who's going to do anything?
I like Phoenix a lot.
Yep. How can you not?
They're just so good.
Yeah.
Booker's amazing.
Booker
all around
probably should be getting some looks for the MVP.
He should.
You lost Chris Paul, and you still kept him on top.
Yeah, but Jokic.
Right.
It really should be Jokic.
What he's done statistically is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But Booker's been absolutely amazing. The interesting part to me about Phoenix is as many points as they score, they're really good defensively. They're a lot better than people think. And Chris Paul is the person that changed that.
If you can keep a team pretty much under 110 points, especially in the playoffs.
Well, and if you're Phoenix, you're scoring 111.
Yeah,
who
do
you like in the East?
If you can play any defense,
yes,
really,
any at all, any whatsoever. Who do you like in the East?
Yeah, we'll go Milwaukee.
I like that. I would go right there too. We're probably going to end up with a repeat of last year, Milwaukee and Phoenix. you'd have to think Phoenix is going to be a little better equipped this year. If they do get to the finals, maybe they're a little more healthy. The one thing that's interesting to me, especially in 7-game series, and you know this from baseball, the biggest overreaction that ever takes place is after game 1. Because game 1 takes place and everybody goes, oh, we know how it's going to go. No, you don't.
No. And that series is going to take probably over a week long.
Yes.
You're going to see guys wear down.
Yep.
And we're going to see who can sustain, who can last longer, who's going to get hot, who's the guy that nobody talks about for the whole season that's going to get hot and make a difference. When it comes to crunch time.
Well, and who's going to get injured?
Yeah.
Who's going to figure things out coaching-wise? Hey, we know they want to do this. Now we've got to read. We're going to change some things around, and we're going to start attacking you in a different way. So many things changes over a 7-game series. It's such a long series, but as soon as we see game 1 takes place, maybe even game 2. Oh, I know. I already know how it's going to. No, you don't.
Heck, it's like the first round of any combat sport. It's like the first round of a boxing
like
match.
a title fight.
This is I'm feeling it out round.
We're going to 12 rounds. It's not over after the first round. It's going to be a long, long time. And the NBA playoffs are nothing if not long. That's just how they are. Moving over just a little bit. We're going to switch just a little bit. And again, we like to surprise Jimmie because he needs to be, ready. He needs to be ready for some of these things. The NFL offseason has been absolutely wild. We've seen a number of teams making major changes to their rosters. What teams are standing out to you the most in the NFL as teams that you're looking at and you're going, they have upgraded that roster? They look like a different team. They might be a team to contend with. Who you liking in the NFL?
There's the most obvious answer in the world right now.
He's going to go full home runs.
Denver Broncos.
Okay.
How can you not be this excited? It is an exciting time to be a Broncos fan.
I would agree.
Now, I like the move of not picking up Von Miller. It would have been nice to have him back.
We
and have
love
all the
Von.
nostalgia.
I
love nostalgia,
yes, but we can't win titles with nostalgia.
It's not the move that they should have made. I'm looking to pick up maybe another lineman on the offensive side.
Ideally, draft is coming. Draft will be coming very, very quickly, and maybe you can find some pieces there. Yeah, the Denver Broncos getting Russell Wilson. It's not. It's funny because when we got that signing, people were asking me, what does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean they're gonna win every game? No, it means that they might win every game. Mm-hmm. And the past 5 years, there are games we know we're not winning ever. We're never beating the Kansas City Chiefs ever. And now I don't know. Maybe
definitely. I mean, those games
you're in the hunt now.
They were competing a little bit with Drew Lock and
right.
If you can upgrade even a little bit like that, you definitely have at least a chance, fighting chance. And they kept a lot of the receivers. I thought we were going to lose Judy at least.
Yep.
Kept him around.
He's got to be the happiest man in Denver, by the way.
Yeah. And we can finally see his full potential.
Yep.
I did hurt a little bit losing Font.
I did too.
I liked
big strong kid.
I was looking to see how he would fit in this system with Wilson around.
Alberto is going to have to step up, and he's going to have to be a big-time player, but, man, he looks like a big-time player. He looks like he might be special. He might be one of those guys. He's that spectacular. And, there's a couple other teams that are out there. I wouldn't have paid that much, but the Buffalo Bills are going to be loaded. The Bills are stacked, and now they get Vaughn to add to that defense. You're telling me in that game this year against the Chiefs, you couldn't use Von Miller?
Oh, yeah, you could use Von
Miller. That's a game changer.
Playoff Von Miller is a different animal.
Yes, he is.
Even just, people sleep on experience in pretty much every sport. Yeah, he's old, whatever. Experience counts.
Yes, it does.
For a lot.
And he's still got wheels.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like you're looking at him broken down like, oh, yeah, you're Peyton Manning in his last year. No, he can still bring it.
No, he's like you got tips and, tricks that they do. Like DeMarcus Ware was, old as, dirt when he came here to Denver.
And
he's
still so good.
Still produced.
Yeah.
The biggest thorn in the side is going to be the Buccaneers. Just when you thought they were out, they pulled him back in.
They pulled him back in again, and they are going to be a pain. And Tom Brady is going to be a pain. And there's enough talent down there. There's enough weapons. And let's be real, that NFC is not great.
No,
it's
only getting worse too.
Yes, I don't know, and we might talk about this a little bit next week. I'm trying to think of a time when one conference was so completely loaded, specifically with quarterback talent as we have right now. You look at that AFC, and you've got Josh Allen, and you've got Joe Burrow, and you've got Lamar Jackson, and you've got Russell Wilson, and you've got Patrick Mahomes. It's loaded.
You want to talk about that? You could have the AFC West.
Yes.
You could be the AFC West versus the NFC,
Everyone else.
and I'm taking the
I
AFC
am
West
too.
every day.
Unbelievable.
Heck, the worst quarterback's Derek Carr, and he's got to be thrown to Devontae Adams.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No, the AFC West is stacked. The AFC North is very, very good. And then you've got Josh Allen. And and then you have the AFC South. We won't talk about that. Speaking though, in the NFL, what teams are you looking at in the NFL? And I know there's a team that's near and dear to your heart that hasn't done anything in this offseason. What in the world are the Dallas Cowboys doing? They haven't done a thing.
I would like to go out on record, on camera, on the Daly Dose podcast
All right,
and say that is not very close to my heart, Dallas Cowboys. And they need to take that step forward. They needed to get something going because they didn't really do much.
They didn't do anything. They lost a lot of people.
Yeah, they're only getting worse. And the Cowboys are just so lost in the management side of things.
Yep.
And I don't see them taking any steps towards getting better at all.
Right. Well, you lose Amari Cooper. You lose Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
And what have you added? This is from a team that, remember, couldn't get out of the first round at home.
Yeah.
So what is it you're doing?
Dak Prescott, he's shown us that he can be a competent
Yes,
quarterback.
he can.
But
He can be very good.
if he's got no one to throw to, then
Doesn't matter.
What's gonna?
You're right. And Ezekiel Elliott has another year on him, and is another year older, and has more miles on him.
And he's only getting worse. He hasn't taken. He's had 2 good years to start off his career, and it hasn't been great since.
Right. And a lot of fumbles.
And like I said, Prescott is a good quarterback, but he's not the kind of quarterback that, say, Peyton Manning was, where you could take a mediocre receiver and make him look really good.
You're right.
So he needs someone to throw to, and it's just not there right now.
No, it's going to be very, very interesting. NFL, of course, will always be very, very fun. Jimmie, I got to take you to task on something in your sports media work. I saw you posting a little bit on social media about the Wnba Draft. What is going on? What in the world? What are you doing?
I'll tell you what's going on.
Where has your life taken you? What path are you on when you're talking about the Wnba Draft?
I'll tell you what's going on. The Wnba Draft was important this year because in the very first round, Maya Hollingshed out of the University of Colorado was taken 8th. Now,
by who?
Las Vegas somebodies. I'm trying to think.
Well done.
Oh, man. I'm blanking on who it is.
That doesn't matter. No one watches. We don't care.
The Las Vegas Aces.
Make up a team. The Aces sounds
Aces.
good. I don't care.
That's who it is. That's who it is.
Okay.
She was the first.
Las Vegas Casinos. I don't know.
The highest taken player out of Colorado in the WNBA draft. So I was tweeting about it a little bit.
Were the Buffs good in women's hoops this year?
So actually, yes, they were the longest remaining undefeated team. They went 16-0.
Who knew? I had no idea.
We played Stanford, took an L. We made it to the dance.
Did you?
Yeah, I think we got bounced first round though.
Okay.
So.
I literally had no. Raymond from DC. He brings some women's hoops knowledge. I don't bring any. Which is funny because I coach women's hoops, but I don't have a clue as far as any of college or WNBA. I don't have any idea whatsoever. Jimmie, that is not why we brought you here. There's a reason we brought you here. We brought you here because you're an MLB guy. Jimmie is our resident baseball expert. We have him here to do the heavy lifting on baseball because, I always tend to fall asleep during baseball games, but Jimmie loves baseball. He's all in on it. He adores that sport. I don't understand it. I don't question it. I just bring him in and ask him to cover some of this stuff for us. Jimmie, the lockout was averted. Took a little while. Yeah, it took a little while. Ticket sales are strong. People are going to go see the games. People are excited to go to see the games despite the lockout and everything. At what point do you think baseball needs to be concerned with their bad TV numbers?
I wouldn't worry about it too much because regardless of the bad TV numbers, advertising revenue is insane right now. Okay. And like I said, I've written about it a few times. Every team has grown in the last 5 years. The league has only grown. It's only gotten bigger. It's only gotten more valuable.
Right.
Every team has made money. Even the Baltimore Orioles. Even the Tampa Bay Rays. Rays, they're good. No one cares. Fans don't care.
Fans,
they're still growing. They're still growing. Every team. Baseball is getting bigger. It doesn't look like it, but it's getting bigger.
Do you worry about that fan base getting older because that fan base is like 104 on average and like they're just dying off? Do you is that a concern at all?
It is a worry, and I think they need to make viewing baseball games more accessible. Blackout, I hate it. I hate the blackout. Yeah. It is the biggest pain. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't incentivize anybody to be going to the field. Heck, they had it during quarantine. They were blacking out baseball games. Why are you blacking out baseball games when no one can get into the stadium to go watch the game?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. And I think they need to make the experience of going to a baseball game better, have more appealing. You know, I saw a video the other day of what Toronto was doing. Toronto's stadium, first of all, is a dump. They play in Canada, first of all.
Right.
And that stadium has been old. It's been around since like late 80s.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Early 90s. They won the World Series there back forever ago. But they renovated it, and, you know, they have like a light show. You know, kids like that. I see Boulder, and I see you show a flashing light in front of anyone in Boulder, and they'll pay attention for a solid 5 minutes.
Sure.
You know, you just got to do small things like that. Get the fans more into it, other than, you know, just the seventh inning stretch.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, and there are a few items that are being closely considered as part of that collective bargaining agreement. The universal designated hitter, the pitch clock, the ban on the defensive shift, expanding the postseason. What of these are you looking at and saying, we need to do that, and what of these are you looking at and saying, no, I don't like it?
Now, I would like to consider myself a baseball traditionalist.
Sure.
In that I like the old school stuff.
Yeah.
But I will let you know I have come around on the universal DH a little bit.
Okay.
I do enjoy, you know, seeing not having that almost automatic out. I've come around to it a little bit, and honestly, if I'm going to be completely real with myself,
Yeah.
I don't mind the guy on second in the extra innings anymore.
Okay.
Really? It doesn't bother me too much. I think it adds a little bit of strategy to the game.
Right.
I'm okay with banning the shift, or at least limiting it, just because I think taking away hits it's not going to, you know, make the game any more interesting. Seeing a guy hit a ball 115 miles an hour right at someone, you know, when it's up the middle, you know, that drives me insane.
Sure. Do you think Tony Gwynn is looking at the shift and just giggling every time he would see it? Because he'd just be like, man, whatever.
I think Tony Gwynn is looking down on us and just scoffing.
Yes. He has to be.
You can't hit
seriously
on both sides of the field. Are you kidding me?
You can't hit it anywhere you want to hit it, because I can hit it anywhere I want to hit.
I think we could put Tony Gwynn's corpse up there in the batter's box, and I think he'd get something down over the, you know, third base's head.
Well, and it occurs to me that there is something going on, and you're a young guy that played high school baseball, so you've been immersed in the game. It used to be, when I was a kid at least, there was a lot of shame in striking out. Mm-hmm. Striking out has no shame in it whatsoever now. They don't care, because it's all, hey, but what if I hit the home run? And putting it into play doesn't have, I guess, as much admiration as it probably deserves.
Well, you know, until you get to the highest of levels, you want to put it in play.
Yeah.
And, you know, you still ideally want to put it in play, but the thing has happened. So you are so focused on that home run, and that's because the pitchers nowadays are so good. They're throwing so hard. Their stuff breaks so hard. Getting 4 hits an inning is just not realistic.
Sure.
Every single time. So it makes more sense to, you know, hit a home run. It's harder to get 5 hits off of Max Scherzer than it is to get 1 home run.
Right.
That's just the reality of it. So you're going to see guys, you know, that are there purely for that reason, to hit that home run.
Sure.
And that just comes with striking out.
Often.
Very often.
a lot of striking out.
And it's guys that you don't think anymore, because they've had to change their whole approach. Javier Baez, if you remember back when, you know, when the Cubs won that World Series, he wasn't necessarily just a power guy, but he was hitting ball hard, you know, he was getting contact, he's putting that in play. But now he led the league in strikeouts last year.
Right.
His home runs are up. But
of course.
I saw a tweet, you know, he's with the Tigers now, and he whipped so hard on a pitch that was just in the dirt.
Corkscrew.
And you're just like, Javier is in full season form.
He's ready. What do you think of the pitch clock? Are they going to bring in an actual pitch clock? Hey, they have a pitch clock. That's already out there. There's a rule out there. But are they going to actually enforce it? Are they going to do is that going anywhere?
I don't see the point of it, in that pitchers are ready. It's the batter that's the issue, first of all.
I would agree with that.
Second of all, I haven't seen it, you know, really matter that much. It's a 30-second or something pitch clock. It's not taking 30 seconds to get into the box. I haven't really seen it. I haven't seen it really put in, like, really matter that much. I'm counting, and I watch the clock at these games, and I'll watch it on TV. The batter's always in the box by the time it hits 15.
So the minors went with it, and they say it shaved off almost 30 minutes off their game.
Again, it does not matter to me that much, because if you're willing to sit through a 2 hour and 30-minute baseball game, you're willing to sit through a 3-hour baseball game. If you're not gone by the 6th inning.
I'm gone by the 3rd inning. So
exactly. If
here's
those
a
who
story.
want to be there are there.
Right. I'm going to tell you a story. The other night, Rockies are on there playing the Cubs, and I turn it on. We watch the first 2 innings. We turn a movie on. We watch a 2-hour movie. We come back. It's in the 4th inning. That's all I need to say. Okay, Jimmy, we are going to discuss a number of things, just like we talked about in the NFL. Major League Baseball saw a number of big-name players moving all over the place. You actually touched on this a little bit in a Daly Dose article. But what moves are you looking at in Major League Baseball? People moving around, people changing teams, people signing in free agency. What are the moves that stood out to you the most in Major League Baseball as, hey, this is really going to change the look of this team?
I'm going to go Freddie Freeman to the Dodgers, and that Dodger team's so good, and they're always going to be so good, especially with Freddie Freeman. I honestly was a little surprised about him moving out of Atlanta. I really just felt like he loved Atlanta, but that big money out of LA, makes talks a lot. Yeah. I think that says a lot for that Atlanta team, and that it hurts them a lot if they didn't go and pick up Matt Olson, who I think is a massive pickup, and I think that bat is pretty much equal. I wouldn't say that they're losing much offensively.
Sure.
At first base this season.
No, that's a big one.
I don't think this Josh Donaldson pickup from the Yankees is going to make too big of a difference. I don't see him really having that crazy of a season.
What do you think about Max Scherzer to the Mets? Does he change the Mets?
Oh yeah, I mean,
is that change them enough?
Max Scherzer changes the Mets if Jacob deGrom can stay healthy, and he hasn't proved that he can stay healthy at all. He's out right now. He was supposed to open for him on opening day. He's hurt. He's always hurt. You can't.
That's so good.
You can't be that good and throw that hard and have that nasty of stuff and just stay healthy unless your name is Max Scherzer. Yeah. And Max Scherzer's like 40 years old.
Yeah.
And he signed
still going
a long contract.
Yeah, he did. That's big money. He'll never see the end of that, will he? There's just no way. Jimmy, let's fly through each division right now. I want to get your picks for who you like, and then we'll maybe even throw in some wild card teams and kind of get an idea of who you like to make the postseason in Major League Baseball. Let's start off in the American League East. And when people think of the East, the first 2 teams they think of are the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. Obviously, that's the teams that have had all the success. But hey, this division is loaded. Who do you like this year coming out of the AL East?
AL East is easily the most competitive league.
It's brutal.
It's the AFC West of the Major League Baseball. And I don't have either the Yankees or Red Sox. Now, I'm going to list off this Yankees team real quick.
Okay.
Just let me list off
Let's
a few
roll
names.
through it.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah.
Josh Donaldson.
Oof.
DJ LeMahieu.
Man.
Joey Gallo. Aaron Judge. Anthony Rizzo.
Huge bats.
And I don't think they can do it.
I don't either.
I don't think they can do it because that pretty much they had that. They added Donaldson. They added Judge last year.
Yeah.
And they still had a losing record.
Yes.
Against every single other AL East team except for the Orioles. Now, I like Toronto a lot. I think Toronto's going to win this division. It's either going to be Toronto or the Rays.
Yep.
Just because the Rays pitching's that good, and it's still that good. They picked up Corey Kluber.
The Rays pick up Kluber.
They have all the pitching in the world they need. And that coaching staff is so good at developing pitching.
So good.
And they have Wander Franco, number 1 MLB prospect, came up last year. He's going to be only getting better with experience. Hopefully, he's going to, some people have a sophomore slump. I don't see him slowing down at all, really. And again, right now, it's so early. You can't really take into account, people that are hot right now because it's not going to last.
No, it's not going to last.
It's not going to last.
So long.
It's easy you could take these first 10 games, 15 games, 20 games.
Yeah.
Forget about them later on because, they matter, but the team, you're going to realize what kind of team is which. Not even until the All-Star break.
Yeah, when we get into July, you can kind of start looking around and saying, okay, I think we know who's who. Make no mistake, there's still going to be some runs coming, but you can kind of figure out who's who. But you like Toronto.
I do love Toronto. Now, that team has been really young,
Yeah.
They're getting older, and Vlad looks like an MVP candidate right now.
He's ridiculous.
He is big, and he just moshes the ball, particularly against Yankees pitching, I'll have note. They made some moves around this offseason. They picked up Matt Chapman. I think that's a big move defensively. I don't think he adds anything with the bat.
Right.
But they love to talk about how his defense is up there with Nolan Arenado's. And I would agree. It's right up there with it. They went to the same high school, for God's sake.
Okay.
But that's a big pickup for them. And I definitely see either them or Toronto, or them or the
Rays.
Rays, picking up that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rays in the East, but it's just crazy to think about. Like you said, that lineup of the Yankees. I don't know if they're going to do anything, though, but, man, they are stacked. Let's move over to the AL Central, which saw the Chicago White Sox run away with it last year, and the Sox should be the favorite again this year, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a one-team race. There are a couple teams over there that could maybe have some say in this. Where do you come in, first off, on the new Cleveland name? We've got the Cleveland Guardians as opposed to the Indians. Do you like the Guardians? Is the Guardians working for you?
I think the Guardians are having that same issue the Redskins had, in that we've had this name for so long.
Yeah.
And it's any name that comes after it's going to sound stupid.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Now, I had to have the name Guardians explained to me, through Twitter.
You got an explanation?
Yeah, because there's these two statues as you enter the city of Cleveland that are two guardians.
Okay.
On a bridge, and I mean it makes sense, but it just
idea.
It sounds a little dumb for me.
It sounds like a goofy movie.
No, yeah, sounds like a random generated team name. Like insert noun.
Right.
Deal.
Right. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Okay, well that at least makes a little more sense. Who are you liking in the Central? We've got the Sox. I don't know if you might still like Cleveland. Minnesota has got quite a lineup. Minnesota's got some people.
Minnesota was the biggest story of the year out of that division, or this offseason, just because they had picked up Carlos Correa, which was a bit of a surprise. They made a few moves beforehand that I thought they really liked. I really liked, but then they went and traded them to the Yankees.
Sure.
But I don't really see that happening Minnesota-wise. I lost a lot of confidence in them last year. That pitching staff was pretty old. They younged it up a little bit. I made a few trades. I still don't see it happening. Don't really know why Carlos Correa went to Minnesota.
Well, there's a lot of things that people do. and a lot of times they'll sign and you'll be like, why'd you sign there? Oh, we'll find out. His money. He wanted to live there, whatever.
Yeah, I will say that Kansas City and Detroit are definitely on the rise.
Getting better.
They like I said earlier with Javier Baez, they did pick him up, and he does bring an element to the team. He brings an element, an energy to the team. But Detroit has a lot of good young guys coming up. Casey Mize came up last year. Spencer Torkelson.
Okay.
He's starting his rookie year. He was the number 1 draft pick in 2020.
Okay.
You see these guys coming up faster and faster these days.
Yeah. Developing so much quicker.
Oh, yeah. I think a large part of that is college ball.
Has to be.
People are spending a lot of time in the college baseball rather than the minors. But he's coming up here soon, or he's up, and he's making an impact on the team. A lot of excitement going on in Detroit right now. I wouldn't mind seeing Detroit, come up in the next 3 years just so we can see Miggy, compete again. He's going for his 3,000th hit this year.
Sure. You're going White Sox.
I'm going White Sox.
You have to, right? They're just too loaded this year. I'll go White Sox as well. We finish up the American League out west, where the Houston Astros are at the top every single year. But, wow, another team that had a big offseason, the Seattle Mariners, they went and got a few pieces too. Is there any way the Mariners could do the unthinkable and actually, make the postseason?
God, no. I will say that they still have some young guys coming up.
They do.
It's Houston's division.
It has to be.
Texas is one of those teams in the next few years. Now, Texas, I think, is a big slept-on dark horse here.
Yeah.
They have the best, on paper, middle infield in baseball with Marcus Semien and Corey Seager. That was a massive move this offseason that nobody really saw Texas making. Texas spends money when they feel that they can win games. And they have that young pitching staff right now. They have Jack Leiter and the Double-A team right now. That pitching staff is going to be among the best in the league in the next 4 to 5 years, so they can keep them all healthy and together. I think that they are my sleeper pick for this year.
Wow.
Just if they can, keep that middle infield together, and if they can, Corey Seager's playing out of his mind right now. They walked him with the bases loaded the other day.
Right. Rather than face him.
They can score runs in that brand new pretty ballpark of theirs.
Yeah.
And if that pitching can just, mature up a little bit, they'll be dangerous.
Be right there. Okay, so right now we have our division winners. You've got Toronto. You've got the White Sox. You've got Houston. I'm going to go Rays. I'm going to go White Sox. I'm going to go Seattle. Yeah, I said it. I'm going to say Mariners.
Oh, what a bold move.
I know. I'm going to suffer with that pick, but I'll take that pick for Jeff. So pick 3 more wildcard teams. Who are your other 3 wildcards coming out of the AL?
The Angels.
Angels coming out?
I hate saying that, but...
Wow. Bold move for you.
Bold move. I'd like the Red Sox to make a wild card. If they'll get Chris Sale back at some point in the year. I think that's a big move for them. They picked up Trevor Story. That hurt a lot.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And they let him leave.
Yeah, they did.
Could have got something for him last year. No, thanks.
Yeah. And then I'll go Seattle, too.
Look at you going Seattle.
Yeah.
I'm going Toronto. I will take the Astros because, of course, I had the Mariners winning, and then I'll have the Red Sox as well. So we basically have the same teams. We haven't really, and then the Yankees can suck it again. Let's move over to the National League, and let's start off in the East, where we have the defending World Series champion Atlanta Braves, who are still going to be really, really, really good. Philadelphia's over there spending big money. The Mets have improved. We talk about that a little bit. Who is coming out of the NL East this year?
Now, the Braves are interesting because, no one picked them to do anything in the playoffs.
Even late.
Year.
We talked about them late, and we're like, no, they don't have the pitching. There's no
way. And they did. That pitching came up and came in clutch. Can they do it for 162 more games?
I don't know.
That'll be tough. They are young, so they're still learning.
Yeah.
Another crazy thing about that team last year is they did all of that without Ronald Acuna Jr.
He was out the whole year.
He's back, and now they replaced Freddie Freeman with Matt Olson. And you got to look at it and think that's pretty much the same team offensively.
Sure.
And then pitching-wise, you're going to get those same guys. And I'm thinking that's a dang good team, but are they better than the Mets, who picked up, like we said, Max Scherzer, and Lindor's finally playing the contract that he signed. So I'm going to go Mets.
Okay.
But I'm going to keep an eye on Atlanta for possible wild card spot.
They're going to be very, very good. That's going to be another fun division to watch. I'm going to go Braves, but I understand, and you and I talked about it last year, and we're looking at the Braves, and we're going, they're a year away. They still need some time. They get hot, and hot as hot as any team has ever gotten.
Yeah,
rolling through everybody. So they proved me wrong, so now I have to pay for it. So I'm gonna go Braves. Let's jump over to the NL Central, where we have a few teams that could contend. Milwaukee Brewers are, of course, the defending division champs, but those St. Louis Cardinals, they've got some veterans in their lineup that are gonna want to go out big. They're gonna want to produce. I like pitching, and for that reason, I would probably lean Milwaukee. But who do you like in the NL Central?
NL Central, I'm gonna go Cardinals.
You're going to go Cardinals.
I think Nolan Arenado finally puts it together.
Okay.
I think he struggled a little bit last year.
Yeah, he did.
There's an adjustment period for that, definitely coming out of Colorado. But he's hitting over 400 right now.
Yeah.
And granted, it's early on in the season. You can't expect him to be doing that all year, but he's hitting 400 right now, and he's playing like he's playing there for a while.
Figuring things out.
There's a lot of hype coming out of the Cubs right now. Suzuki.
You buying it? You buying the Cubs?
No, I'm not buying the Cubs. I think they're just people are just excited, seeing the Cubs do anything at all.
Yeah.
But then you see them get smacked by the Rockies, and you're like,
Nah, same.
I think Milwaukee's interesting just because that pitching's always going to be there, but the bat's not there either.
No, they never are.
Bat's not there. Christian Yelich, and it just blows my mind. Christian Yelich and Cody Bellinger were the best players in baseball.
Yeah.
2018, just 3
it
years
seems
ago.
Forever ago now.
And they just can't hit the ball if it was a beach ball. If it was the size of a yoga ball, they would have swung on top of it.
Yep.
It blows my mind how far they've fallen. But I'm definitely going to go St. Louis.
Okay.
You got the reunited trio of Molina and Pujols and Wainwright. And my 2011 Rangers fan just wants to die on the inside. That's within me.
Did you see Pujols try to steal third the other night?
I did not see that.
That hurt my soul.
You know, he a lot of times will take that bag.
He ran like no one in the stadium, like he thought he was invisible.
Do you remember?
He's running.
Do you remember a few years ago when Dallas was playing, when Denver was playing Dallas, and Peyton Manning faked and then ran it in for the touchdown? Yeah. It's like that every time he steals a base.
For sure.
You're like, what's he doing?
Why is he running?
Why is he moving faster than a walk right now?
Right. And why does he run like a pregnant deer? Yeah, it's not a good look, but he tried, and it was straight out of Major League. They throw it to third and dude's waiting for him. Like, come on. You're not here yet. No, is brutal. But no, St. Louis has got some really, really talented guys. And you know, like we talked about a little bit, some guys that you know, they don't have that much longer to go. There's some older guys in St. Louis that are looking at this going, hey, this is our last big-time chance. Can they pull together and do something special? I think they've got a chance to.
You got to be careful with those old teams, especially if they can make it into the playoffs.
Yes.
Because they have that experience and they know what it takes, especially a team with that kind of experience. Yep. There's a ton of playoff experience on that team between those three guys in general.
No, I like that pick. I could see St. Louis there. I'm going to go Brewers. Let's move to the National League West, where we know the LA Dodgers are just a friggin' all-star team every single year. But they're going to get tested a lot because what do you make of the San Francisco Giants, who have been so quiet this offseason? We haven't heard anything about the Giants. But why do you just know they're just out there lurking? What about the San Diego Padres, who had such high hopes last year? What are you thinking coming out of the NL West this year?
You know, coming out of the NL West, you know, you hear about the Dodgers and stuff, but I'm sitting here looking at the standings, and I'm seeing a CR sitting at the top.
Here we go.
No, that's not sustainable. We'll see them at the bottom here in about a month. Give it a little bit. I think the Padres are the saddest story coming out.
Did their window already close? That window closed fast if it did.
Tatis is hurt. They've lost Chris Paddock. They have Eric Hosmer still playing first base. And it's just, you just look at him and just, what went wrong? Because this team was supposed to be
so good.
MLB was priming this to be the biggest rivalry with LA, you know, California team. Yeah. And it was the Giants that we turned out to be, you know.
Right.
The biggest thing the whole time, biggest rivalry against LA the whole time. Now, the Giants lost Chris Bryant, so that's going to be a big issue for them. That's a big loss out of their lineup. But like we said with the Cardinals, that's an old group of guys who know how to get it done. I think we're going to see that again this year. You know, they started off just as hot as everyone else in that, you know, division has.
Yeah.
They don't have the firepower that LA has, and no one does, really. It's more of a case-by-case, game-by-game basis. Anyone can beat anyone in that division right now, except for Arizona, who just kicks rocks there at the bottom.
They're just awful, and there's no helping them. You're going Dodgers, though, because what else can you do in that?
I'm going to go Dodgers just to play it safe there. San Francisco,
Remember some of those series last year when we had the Dodgers and the Padres, and you're like looking at it going, this is so fun. Mm-hmm. This felt like playoff baseball.
Oh yeah. I remember.
And it's over. That was fun while it lasted.
Who let Fernando Tatis Jr. drive a motorcycle?
I don't know. Who lets any of these
Why
guys
do you have a
motorcycles?
leash? You should have him locked in like a NASCAR driver just everywhere he goes.
In like some sort of styrofoam. You're not hurting yourself. We're just going to make sure that you're okay. I would agree. I don't know, but it's going to hurt them. And for as much excitement as there was, it honestly feels like that window might have already shut, and that was fast.
We saw that happen in 2014 again, too, where they had that big offseason. They picked up a bunch of guys, and nothing happened.
Nothing happened. It's the curse of that. Hey, if you live in a city as nice as San Diego, you don't get anything else. That's all you get. You've got enough. So you're going Dodgers coming out of there. I'm going Dodgers coming out of there. So now we have our 3 picks for our division winners. Now we've got to pick 3 NL wild card teams. Who are you looking making the playoffs out of the National League besides your division winners?
Like I said, you know, the Giants. There's Milwaukee.
Yep.
For me, you know, because you got to get the obvious, just that pitching's so good. And then I'm going to go Philadelphia.
Going to go Philly. Okay. Hey, Philly's put some big money.
I think it's about time they start doing something.
Yeah.
You know, again, got a few young guys coming up.
Right.
Bryce. Harper. Oh my God. I feel like I haven't said that name in forever.
You haven't said that name in forever.
He played great last year.
Yeah, he did. Much better than anybody thought.
Oh God, and he was so under the radar.
Yeah.
He's so under the radar. He played fantastic last year. So I think that's a big pick. And then I'm gonna say, watch out for that Miami team to be a little stickler.
You like Miami? You liked Miami last year. You're big on Miami.
I got a thing for Miami. They got a lot of young, good pitchers.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that team too.
All right. I'm gonna go Giants. I'm gonna go Cardinals. I'm gonna go Mets. But those are three teams that you also had division wise. So honestly, we didn't differ all that much on our picks here. Okay, so we are going to give you our picks, and don't forget today's 420. Jimmie claims he's completely stone cold sober, but who knows? We're going to tell you our picks right now in April for who's going to be in the World Series, and that's clear not until October. But first, let's talk about some awards. What about your American League Most Valuable Player? Who do you predict is going to be winning the MVP over in the AL?
Oh, it's Vlad.
It's Vlad.
It's definitely Vlad.
Okay.
Guerrero Jr.
Yeah.
He's I think he's going to completely fill out and complete that this year. He's just going to hit so good that it's not even going to have a doubt if he can stay healthy. He's going to be the MVP.
Sure.
Me.
I'm going to differ on that. I'm going to go with the guy that is very, very familiar and the guy who's going to have a huge comeback year. I'm going Trout.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Trout.
That's not a controversial pick at all.
Not at all. Because he's going to come out and he's going to put up huge numbers. And if he does anything, everybody's going to go, look how amazing he is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to go that route. Let's switch over to the National League. Who do you have as your NL Most Valuable Player right now in April?
I talked about him a little bit earlier, and I think that if he can, stay consistent around the bat, and if he can hit 35 home runs, it's going to be Nolan Arenado. And I think that if he can show that he can do it outside of Coors Field, because I think that's a big thing that people still sleep on. It'd be, Coors Field, is the big reason for his bat.
For sure.
The defense is going to be there. Yeah. If he can hit 35 home runs, and if he can hit above 250, he deserves it. It's been too long for him to win the Golden Glove and go to the All-Star game and not pick up an MVP. He deserves it, and I think this is his year.
I'd love it. I hope that happens. I'll be rooting for that to happen. I'm going to go with Mets shortstop Francisco Lindor. Think he's off to a fast start, so I'll overreact and give him that based on the fast start that he's got. Okay, we're going to get to our World Series pick. You brushed on it briefly. Jimmie, what the heck is going on with the Colorado Rockies? Is there any reason to be excited about this team, or is it just the same old fast start, fade, poop their pants all the way down the stretch?
We have seen it happen 1,000 times where they start so hot and then they just finish so
exciting.
Cold. Cold as the Rockies.
Yes.
And
the ice cold Rocky Mountains.
And when I hear that slogan, I'm like, are you talking about the mountains? Or are you talking about the team?
Yeah, you're talking about the bullpen, I think.
It's got to be the team. Bullpen's been solid so far. But, I don't think there's anything too exciting going on here. They have the new GM.
Yeah,
but you still have the old guys running but underneath that GM and running the team in general. So I don't think you're going to see much of anything. They picked up Chris Bryant just enough to put butts in seats,
right? You're
like
exactly
it always
right.
is.
Yes,
but I don't see anything happening. We'll see at the All-Star break. They can hover around 500. Maybe we're talking otherwise.Maybe they're buyers. I don't see them buying any more than a candy bar. But
it's just so disappointing.
Yeah, you look around.
Never.
A good observation was made to me the other day. I went to a Rockies game. I went to the second game of the year against the Dodgers, of which they won.
Okay.
And you look around that stadium and you see a ton of jerseys.
Yep.
And you see LeMahieu and you see Story and you see Nolan Arenado.
Yes, you do.
And then you're like, these guys don't play here anymore.
None of them are here anymore.
What a team that doesn't play here anymore.
Right.
And it's hard to think that you had all of that and you still are coming away with a wild card win.
Nothing.
One wild card win.
It never changes. It never changes. And until ownership changes, I don't see how it can. It just is what it is. The Rockies are a small market team with owners that just don't care because they pack the stadium. And so what do they care? As long as they're getting those seats, filled, it doesn't matter to them. They don't care about winning. And we are spoiled here in Denver because probably of Pat Bowlen. Everybody wants to win, don't they? Mm-hmm. No, they don't. And we have evidence of that right here. They don't care one bit about winning. Yeah. They could care less if they ever win a game. Just give us our money. Shut up.
Ooh, quick little Broncos question. What do you think of the rumors of this new owner?
Yeah, that we're gonna have some Walmart money.
Some Walmart money.
Yeah, it's big money. I'll say this: if it happens, and there's a lot of things that have to happen for it to take place. They're talking about Walton, the Walmart guy, buying the Denver Broncos, who are available out there. They're saying he is putting out there that he would offer over $4 billion, which if he's going to pony up that much money, no one else is going to match that. He's got more money than everybody.
Oh, yeah.
He would be probably the richest owner in the NFL.
Yeah, it would be.
He'll be the richest owner in the NFL. As exciting as that is, and I would think this is a good thing, we don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know until you have an owner owning and working and doing things. Because you can look at different clubs and you can look around and say, well, that guy, I don't even know that has so much money. It doesn't matter. He wants to win. If you looked at Pat Bowlen, he's the oil guy. Oh, yeah, he's got some money. But Pat Bowlen ran things as a first-rate, top-notch kind of owner, and people wanted to come play for him. Mm-hmm. And don't underestimate, he was super ultra competitive. He wanted to win, and he wanted to win, and he wanted to win. So it's exciting to me, but how would he actually be as an owner? I don't know.
You got to think about how much are they willing to put into this team other than money. You're talking about your attention, anyone that's you can go out and go on Madden and pick a franchise.
Right.
And it is so much more than you think it is.
Way more.
Even these games are so realistic. You're hiring, guys to clean your bathrooms.
Yeah.
It's just the small things, you got to worry about. And that's a whole nother factor other than, the checkbook.
No, you're right. And there are so many other things that we'd have to look at to honestly know, would he be a good owner? Now, money-wise, I like the look of that. The money looks great.
I've heard rumors
would
of a new
he be
stadium.
The guy? I've heard rumors of a new stadium. I've heard rumors of a stadium out near the airport where you could actually, go to the stadium and park your car there.
Ooh,
whoa, that would be a shocker, wouldn't it? We haven't been able to do that ever.
Yeah.
Ever. My dad told the story back in the day that he lived right down the street from old Mile High Stadium. He said one day he comes home from work, he pulls into his driveway. There's a Monday Night Football game that night. And the guy goes, hey, $20 if you want to park here. He goes, get out of here, this is my house. That's the parking situation. And that's going back to the 60s. That is how it's been forever. If you are a Bronco person that is going to a Bronco game, you don't have parking. There is talk that maybe they would put a stadium out east where there is more space, there is more land. Maybe you would actually be able to park where the event takes place, which would be kind of cool. So there's aspects that are very, very exciting about that.
Parking's interesting, but will you be able to get out of the stadium in less than 2 hours?
Very iffy. Iffy at best. You never know. You'd never, ever know.
The only time I've been in that stadium was CU versus Texas A&M, and we paid $50 for parking.
Yeah.
We split it between the 4 of us. Still ridiculous.
Oh, you guys should have took the ride.
And it took us 3 hours to leave.
Oh, it's not good. So I can go get my press pass and go to games.
Yeah.
It's not that hard for me to fill out the paperwork. You pay like $200 or whatever, and I can go get. That's not that hard. I've been doing it long enough that I can get it. And even when I was writing for Mile High and stuff, I can go get my press pass. It is too much trouble to go to the games. I'm not doing it. There's no reason. I can go sit next to the guys writing the stories, but it's too much of a pain to get in and to get out and to get home and to get, like you said, out of the stadium. No, I'm not doing that. So there's just no interest for me. I understand the people that do and the people that have to, be there and do the breaking news, and I get it. But it's too much trouble, and until they clean that up, there'd be no reason for me to go. Yeah. So, no, it's going to be interesting to see what the Denver Broncos ownership does do, though, because that's big, big money you're talking about, and a franchise that desperately needs some leadership, so that would be very, very interesting. Okay, Jimmy, we have come to the crucial point now. We are at the crux of the matter. We need to get your World Series prediction. Who is going to be playing in that October Classic later this year? Again, it's 420. We're a long ways away. We got the whole summer to go, into the fall, into the playoffs, a lot of injuries, a lot of movement. Who is going to be playing in your World Series come this fall?
I think right now we have to look at it on paper.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go Toronto.
Okay.
Versus the Dodgers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because you just can't bet against the Dodgers right now.
No.
Just because that
They're
team is
just
so
so loaded,
good. And it's
yes.
so loaded. They haven't lost since Colorado in the opening season, or as of right now.
Right. No, they're really, really good. And like we've talked about before, they just look like an all-star team. It doesn't even look fair. It looks like they've compiled a group of all-stars and everybody else is playing with the scraps. The Dodgers are there. I'm going to go Dodgers. I'm going to go Chicago White Sox.
Ooh.
I'm going to see if the White Sox can actually, keep things going later into the season, see if their manager can stay sober and just kind of see where that all goes. But I'm going to go White Sox. I think they have a lot of talent. I think they should be right there. There you have it. We are making our predictions very, very early for what is coming for a long ways out. But it should be a fun season. It should be a lot of things to look forward to. And there should be some teams that we talked about even today that we're going to want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And I can't wait to sit there and watch for 3 hours a night.
I'm not doing any of that. Jimmie, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by.
Yes,
You're always welcome. It's always fun to catch up and to talk baseball and to talk baseball with someone who actually enjoys it and stays awake for it. I appreciate that part of it. But you're doing good work. Keep working. Keep putting that stuff out there. Keep putting those articles up. The more you do it, it is a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger you're going to get at it. So keep at it and keep going. If there's anything we can do, let us know.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.